show you something real quick. We're putting these carbs on, and I've seen this happen before, and people get kind of like, oh, there's nothing I can do, or my cable's an issue. But check this out. With all cables, come in here. With all cables, watch this little line right here. There needs to be free play, and there is next to no free play. This is just stiff as can be. So you got these adjusters here, and they're all the way, there you go. They're all the way shortened up. I can't loosen them up anymore. And then on the carburetor itself, they're already all the way loosened up, if you will. There's no free play. But check this out. Here's a big problem. You agree that there's no free play?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this cable routing. And do you see how from the point here, and then as we get over here, where there's this extra bend in here?
Yep.
So the last tech routed this wrong, and looking at your photos that you took and being diligent of the last mechanic, it can get you into trouble. If you go here, okay, see how it just sits on there and it's a real nice straight line?
Yep.
Okay, we did nothing. Now check this out. Go here. Look at all that free play we gained. Okay, this is super, super critical. The one thing that we can't do right now is we want to set this up loose like we talked about. Because when we take it off the lift, we need to still do the lock to lock and make sure that as we turn those handlebars, that cable isn't going to pull a little bit. You saw we could pull the cable just by having it in the wrong place. So going around a corner can obviously do that same thing. So here's the way I like to do it. You could go ahead, we've got it in the right spot right now, and make yourself a stationary, or excuse me, a movable mark. And you can see that glue line, could have used that as well. I'm doing this just for the video to be able to show it. And now I'll blip it a couple times so it finds its true bottom. And then I'll come across here, create a mark, and now I'll get a good visual of how much free play I actually have. Now if you look at the manual on this one, and this is real common to a lot of motorcycles, throttle cable free play, 2 to 4 millimeters. Or 80 to 160 thousandths. I don't know about you, but I'm not very good at visualizing 4 millimeter. Okay, so if that were the case, I could go ahead and lock down a caliper like this to either one, standard or metric, and now I can go in here and I could set this at the bottom and then find out where we're at. And Jesse, how is your setting right now?
Looks good.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit tighter than we want on the bench, right? So I think we got another thread out of one of these that we can go ahead and gain a little more. When you totally tighten these down in their very loosest spot, I think we're gonna get another millimeter. And here's why we wanna do that. We wanna go ahead and set this on the loose side, because once it's off the lift and you might have everything back on it, if I wanna fine tune that cable, now I could come up here, do this adjuster, fine tune it, life is going to be good, and that's how you do it. So what did you learn about this cable routing?
It's pretty important when adjusting cables.
Yeah, and not stressing it. Let's say you go out and did, 10,000 miles of this all vibrating. What's it doing right there, that cable?
Chafing it.
Yeah, it's bending. It's putting a bend on there. That cable is being pulled through there all this. It's just nothing but bad. Do the right thing. Follow your cable routing. Inside these service manuals, it's real common that they'll have places in here to show which way the cables should be routed. Probably should have just found that for the video here. The information you need is in here. Need to use it. And be careful copying the last mechanic. And you guys listening back there, I love you guys coming up with photos and like, well, this is how I took it apart, or here's what the last person did. That stuff's all great. We want to capture that. Just don't always trust it. Done, out, peace.